Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Good to
I'm
see you.
doing good.
Thank you for
Nice to,
having me.
man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being with me today. I appreciate you. Epic Lunch and Learn, episode 51.
You've been
51
at
is in the
this,
book.
you're trugging along. You're trugging along.
Man, it's the world changes and you got to change with it.
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
what do they say? If you let what does they say? What do they say? They say
I think
something
it's like
about
the
like
one thing you can count on is for things to change or something. Is that where you were going?
something like that, or if you stand still, life will pass you by.
Yeah,
You
agreed.
know, obviously, if you go back 10, 20 years, this wasn't a thing.
It was not a thing, but it's good. I mean, we can reach people non-business traditional hours. It's also a situation as well where we can reuse this platform, and at least we need to share it with other people. And we reach more people, and people can also learn and become educated in the comfort of their own homes.
Yeah, I always talk about the idea of college, right? I graduated college, and I was like, yes, I'm done.
Oh no.
I don't have to read anymore. I don't have to do silly assignments anymore. But really, college, now that I'm older, is more about learning the habits and learning the skill set so you can self-educate yourself. You can learn on your own. You have the ability to do these skills, and these are skills that I just took for granted. I didn't even know. I was like, oh, you mean I still got to read?
I still gotta read. It's lifelong learning, and also, when you're in the service industry and you want to help people and you want to be efficient, you always want to come with the new. And you know the difference between signing documents in person versus signing them electronically. So you constantly want to continue to be at the top of your game when you're providing service to people, especially when it's such a critical buying a home. Selling a home, it is a huge, huge deal. So staying at the top of the game, learning what's new, using things and new technologies as soon as they're available. I want to say it only makes life easier because, of course, we have blackouts and we have power issues and things of that sort. But for the most part, I mean, you meet people where they are and you try to make things as simple as possible.
Yeah, 20 years ago, this would have been a seminar. This would have been, where you spend a couple hundreds of dollars to get the information out that, hey, I'm going to be at the public library at 3 o'clock, and I want you to get there. And to your point, if I did that at Washington Library on 95th Street, you
Mm.
know, 95th and Western, if I believe, I think,
Mhm.
no, not in West. Is it Western?
I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Man, I'm gonna have to, man, shame on me. I've met so many clients there. That was like my little hub. That was like a second office. It was like
Mhm.
95th Street and whatever the main street is. There's a public library there, and we would meet. But if you couldn't get there, or if that was too far, or if it was raining or snow, you know, hey, I couldn't make it, and you missed the information. But now this is recorded. The availability is there. And for people that are interested in the information that's going to be provided today, they have that ability to go, and check it out at their leisure when they feel they're ready.
Absolutely. And we got some gems today. I'm really excited about this topic. We got some gems. It's not spoken about as frequently because that means some realtors got to get out and we got to work. And we
Hmm.
got to work, especially in Chicago where it's cold. But
Hmm.
we got some gems, and hopefully, some people can take the information and they can use it to be strategic in how they make their next move.
Well, this is what I wrote today. I said most agents treat winter like hibernation season, sweatpants, hot cocoa, and sweaters, and also excuses at times. But the pros, they know opportunity doesn't freeze. When everyone else is slowing down, they're heating up listings and locking in buyers, which means business. So today, I definitely wanted to talk about listing homes in the wintertime, listing homes, and just overall, what are some to-dos, especially as to your point, the weather's changing. I mean, I saw the weather yesterday, and they were telling me that dip, it's happening this weekend.
It's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Oh yeah. So
um,
so yeah, let's get into it.
I'm really excited about it. I am an agent that works year round. My business does not stop. Even, we can always pivot. If the weather is super bad, if there's a situation where someone is having car trouble or something like that, you just communicate. And you still find a way to get it done. I mean, people relocate, people divorce. A lot of times around the end of the year, people have these new year, new me epiphanies, and they don't want to wait until the new year to get it done. And you still work, you still move ahead in your life, you still make progress.
When you look at the data, I mean, obviously, in the wintertime in the Midwest, generally there are fewer listings. They're slower winter months. So what type of strategy are you using to help sellers, make this an advantage instead of a disadvantage?
Absolutely, absolutely. Definitely just everyone is shopping online. So your photos, you want to be mindful of the professional photos that you're getting. You want to definitely take photos when the lighting is very, very good. We have a smaller window for that. Daylight savings just ended this past Sunday. So you just want to start with your online marketing, right? You definitely want to do some decluttering, and you want, when people are online and they actually are shopping, for them to have that motivation to put on the down coat and to get out there and to come and tour the property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting with our online presence, and we're just being mindful of overcast and things of that sort. Then we also want to move into, once people get into the home, your curb appeal, right? You are being mindful of those that may need special, everyone may not be, what do I want to say? The mobility issues of people. So, the day of the showing, we want to get out, we want to shovel the snow, we want to put the salt out, all of that. We want to have the booties, we want to have the mats and stuff so that people can dust off their shoes, all of that. And as soon as people come into the home, matter of fact, backstepping just a little bit, when they're putting in the key in the door, we want to make sure there's ample lighting just in the exterior entryway within your home, so that no one is fumbling around with keys if your home is on a lockbox or something like that. Making sure that the lockbox hasn't frozen. That's a really big thing. Some de-icer, it comes in handy. But once they've used the key, they've gotten inside of the house, we immediately want to kind of just hit them with the ambiance of a cozy, warm home. During a showing, we don't want to, if the home is not owner occupied, we don't want to go cheap and frugal on running the heat. Let's run the heat, crank it up, let them come into the warmer they are, the longer they're going to stay and just kind of visualize themselves within the home. So just really, staging, being mindful of what everyone has possibly went through just to get there, and just creating the atmosphere.
We had a couple episodes ago, we had a home inspector on,
Okay.
or a general contractor / home inspector. And we were talking about the concept of maybe before you list your house to, maybe get a home inspection done. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a helpful tip that you would say before listing a home?
If you're not 100%, if you're not the type of person that every single year you've been doing maintenance and you kind of in the back of your mind know that there are some issues, go ahead, get on top of it. You can advertise the fact that you recently did whatever it may be, or, you can have your agent relay that information, like, we're aware of, I don't want to say anything too extreme, like plumbing or whatever it may be that you are aware of, that you're willing to make concessions on as a homeowner. You can lead with that, and you can use that to get people in and to show that you're a motivated seller. And then maybe the people that might be on the fence a little bit, they'll be mindful of the fact, one, that you're being transparent about the true condition of the home, and two, that you're willing to do whatever is possible to set the individual up for the best home buying experience as possible. And no one wants to move into a home and immediately have things go wrong. So
True.
If you want a buyer that peace of mind, it only works to your advantage. So if you can afford it, especially again, if you have a home that you have been delaying some repairs on, and also too, you can get it out of the way. Instead of delaying your closing because the buyer discovered something you've been knowing about for however long, it can already be done and there'll be no extensions or anything like that. And it could just make for a quicker sale. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, we were thinking about that, just that overall concept of like, hey, having a better idea because, over time we've noticed that, these home inspections have been used as negotiating tools and
Yes.
mechanisms. And so, maybe you can eliminate those negotiation mechanisms by having a, you know, home inspection proof home already from day one versus getting the surprise where, oh well, this buyer's home inspector sees XYZ and you're like, what, really? I mean, it worked fine for me.
Absolutely. And when you are listing a home, when you can kind of have those, so you always have your listing sheet, just sitting there just in case someone wants to physically see what they can clearly see on their cell phone. But when you have that binder, and I sometimes recommend for especially the ones that have really been mindful of repairs and that have done upgrades and that have their warranty paperwork and that have gotten new appliances and things of that stuff. When you have a binder as a homeowner and you're able to say, hey, this is the information on the refrigerator, this is the warranty, this is the company that we use for the fencing, this is the company that we use to put in the flooring, that just sets a totally different tone when a buyer is going in. And it's just like, oh, so they're just offering this information. If you are in a position to do that, when you can be forthcoming, and this is in addition, mind you, to the seller disclosure. So in Illinois, every property that's listed, it has the property condition or whatever. But if you can come with those supplemental things to show like, hey, we're on top of this. This has been a well-maintained home. And this is beyond just saying that it's a well-maintained home. Here are the companies that we use. Here is the updates and the dates that we did them. It really gives buyers confidence that they are inheriting a home. I don't want to say inheriting because you're definitely buying. But the transfer is a product that someone has truly taken care of and that someone truly loved.
Well, why don't you take me through the process of selling a house, right? So let's say I want to sell my house today. What are the steps that you're going to take me through to get it ready to be put on the market?
Absolutely. So we're going to do a seller consultation. With the seller consultation, you're interviewing me the same way that I'm interviewing you, just to know your motivation, just to know your time frame, to know, what whether or not it's a bottom line type of thing, what's going on behind the scenes so that I can cater to that need. As we're going through that seller consultation as well, I'm letting you know what I'm doing to sell your home as quickly as possible, to sell your home in a way that doesn't inconvenience your lifestyle too much. All my marketing tools. See, just having the conversation. Are you open to open houses? Are you open to me doing a broker's open? As I get to kind of seeing everything that is that involves in the process, I'm educating, I'm empowering. As we're having that conversation, I'm really attempting to build the rapport so that as we are in this deal, in this transaction, that there's no question that you don't feel like you can ask me. So we have that consultation, and I want to say it's more so educating, because I'm educating you about what your net sales may be if we sell at one price. I'm educating if we have to include staging, if we're going to offer a buyer's warranty, how that's going to affect your, did I say net sales price? I meant to say net proceeds.
Okay, net proceeds. Okay.
Yes, your net
You
proceeds.
you want to explain what that is real quick?
Absolutely. So everybody want to know how much money they're going to have when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
So after commissions, after price cuts, so after we pay off the mortgage, if there are multiple mortgages on the property, or if there are fines or anything like that with the village or with the city of Chicago, people want to know when it's all said and done, how much is going to hit my bank account. And when I am providing that net sheet, seller net sheet is what it is called. It's a breakdown, every single line item. The attorney fees, the different taxes, in Cook County, taxes are in arrears. So all of that, we're talking numbers, We're talking marketing. It's a full on consultation. We're talking how we're going to do access. If you're not comfortable with it being on a lockbox, if you want me to come over and physically show the home, to make sure that I'm there with the property, it's all of that. What are you comfortable with? Are we only doing showings on certain days of the week? All of it, all of it.
Now, when it comes to price, I mean, obviously that's a big topic. Sitting down, like how much are you going to sell my house for? Are you using any type of winner strategy? Like is the season going to depict, hey, this is the best way to get it done, or how do you go about it?
So we're going off recent sales in the area. Just
Period.
because the home, we're going off recent sales. I mean, just because it's the season, no, no, no. We're going off concrete data,
Okay.
and we're going off the condition of the home. You know, every seller, their home is special. Their home is their baby. You
Sure.
have people that are a little bit overzealous with their home repairs and stuff like that. And they may have over improved the home for the area. And that's where the conversation gets a little bit challenging. And that's where I let them know every single thing that I have in my toolbox to advertise this property. Old school tactics, new school tactics, marketing, online. I've been in the business for 10. Oh my gosh, I didn't even get into how long I've been in the business. Been in the business for 10 years. I have many a different real estate professional friends, peers in the industry and things of that sort. But all of that has to be supplemented to show the value at that price point to get it done. And you're definitely trying to give the home as much exposure as possible. So
Sure.
yeah, everybody wants to sell their baby and of course, I'm motivated to get sellers the best price as possible. Everyone wants to tap into the equity or the
Mhm.
improvements in their different community and things like that. So it's a conversation, but it's a conversation that's always rooted in data, rooted in the school district, sometimes rooted in recent developments that may be happening, things that are in the pipeline for the community. So it's a back and forth conversation. It's an exchange of information. And of course, we're taking into consideration motivations and things of that sort. If it's, the happy scenario where someone just has a new job somewhere else, or if it's kind of a darker scenario where there's a divorce or a foreclosure or something like that, different motivations could drive the price a little bit.
Sure. I'm curious when you said things in the area because I've always wanted to know like what does that really do? So like let's take for example the Obama Library, right?
I was
Uh,
thinking that when I said
okay.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
that is
you
big
open
here in
man. Yeah.
Chicago.
And so it's always like sometimes sometimes, and I'll just say my point of view is a little bit of the hype train, right? It's a little bit of like, oh man, my house has got to be worth $200,000 more just because they're gonna set up the Obama Library. So how much does that really truly impact the evaluation going into it?
It's a selling feature that, of course, we're gonna, highlight that possibility. But it's one thing when one thing happens, right? But then you kind of wait for the other, because you have your anchor situation that happens, right? The anchor business or the anchor thing that comes in and
Hmm.
hypes everybody up. But then it's the other developments that may come in, the other businesses that may come in. And, and then, of course, as well, a lot of the people that are trying to get in early, they're investors. Investors are thinking about repair values and things of that sort. So, your investor is not attempting to necessarily pay the same price that someone that, is trying to be in a certain school district where they have a new job, where they have to live in a certain boundary. So it brings excitement to the community. It can vary. And then of course to the mind frame when one new thing has happened versus when four new things have happened
Hmm.
versus when they're grabbing up everything in the community and they're constantly doing different ribbon cuttings and things like that in the community. So it can vary. It can vary, but I sell. I'm trained to sell your home and to highlight all of its best features. If they are building a new Starbucks, if the school is getting a new wing or something like that, I'm going to mention it to people.
It's funny because you have market value
Hmm.
and you have appraised value.
Oh
So,
yeah,
so it's like I could look at your home and say, man, that's worth $500,000. That's what the market is saying, hey, it's worth. But if the appraisal doesn't have support in the area, with other liked homes selling for that amount, I really can't get what the market is coveting this property to be. If I am choosing to get a loan, right? If am I choosing to go to a mortgage company?
absolutely. And that's the reason why you also have to be mindful when you are possibly the first agent in a community that's getting ready to tip the market.
Mm,
And so when you are locked in on one particular area and you're actually going in, looking and seeing, hey, what's new, what's expired, what's pending, what's under contract. And when you're really looking at that data, like, okay, so we got something new and this is a little bit above what's normal for this area, as an agent, you should be watching that to say, like, okay, it's above, but is it just going to sit on market, a really long time? Or is it above and then all of a sudden it's under contract within like 5 days?
mm,
So when you're the first person that's kind of tipping the value of homes within the area, you definitely have that challenge. But when you're the second and the third person that is following other people's leads, it's much, much easier. And because I actually did that in the neighborhood.
oh wow.
And I actually did that in the neighborhood. It was a 4 unit. I want to say 6131 South Fairfield.
Okay.
And I sold it. It could have been, don't remember the time frame, but I sold it about $50,000 of what was the norm for that particular area. And before it was under contract, I'm sorry, before it closed, I had agents calling me up trying to get me to tell them, hey, I see what you did. Can you tell me what you under contract for? Because they wanted to basically list their properties at what I was under contract for.
Sure.
Of course, I didn't want to jinx it. Of course, confidentiality, I could not tell them. But I did say, hey, you may want to wait until after this close. And agents will call and see if they can get someone that, is just going to be a blabbermouth and tell them. But yeah, when you're the first person to tip a market, it is a little bit more challenging, but it can be done depending on the financing that the buyer just so happens to have. And then
Yeah.
that property turned around and sold, I want to say about 4 years later for
Hmm.
430.
Wow.
Yes, I tipped that market. I tipped that market.
Well, we thank you.
6131 South Fairfield. But yeah,
Wow.
but with multi-units and things and that's another caveat, right?
Hmm.
So tipping a market so that although a home may not appraise with what lenders are attempting to do
Hmm.
with a single family, or maybe the multi-unit is just a different, people want multi-units in Chicago.
Sure.
So a lender will give more grace, in my opinion, when it comes to properties that are cash flowing and are income producing.
Hmm. That's something to consider. I never thought about that.
Oh, multi-units always go quick. Multi-unit it's always some, and them buyers will go and find the scarcity of it. The scarcity, they will go and, okay, it only appraised for such and such. There's a gap of about whatever the dollar figure may be. They will go and find it. And when that has happened, that particular property has tipped the market,
Sure.
elevating property values.
Yeah. Well, obviously, especially if we're just looking at Chicagoland area, Chicago dominates in the multi-unit, pocket. And really, once you start going out to the, western suburbs, you got Berwyn and Cicero, but if you in Oak Park, obviously, but if you keep going further out west, you're going to have to wait all the way out to Aurora before you find something, of that magnitude. So those. Not to say it's a dime a dozen, but there's a lot of opportunities, obviously, in the Chicago market, and so those are highly coveted right away. No doubt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I worked with an investor that has bought several multi units in the Garfield area.
Hmm.
And He basically buys a new winter project between September, October, works on it throughout the winter time, and come spring, it's on the market.
Awesome. That's great. I mean, that's a business right there.
I, so again, when people talk about real estate slowing down and different motivation for different individuals and things of that sort, you have a whole nother segment of buyers, which is your investors that's looking for their winter project.
Yeah, they and I've kind of get the science to this, as far as trying to figure out, but there's like five different types of buyers that I've kind of, just stumbled in, like, okay, you have your first time home buyer,
Hmm.
and then you have your upgrade buyer, right? Someone that needs to upgrade, the house is too small, maybe they got the third kid coming, what have you. Then you have the downsize buyer. That's the person that, obviously, hey, I got to sell my house because I'm tired of walking up these stairs. I'm getting a
Yes.
little bit older. My kids, I don't need all this space
Empty
anymore.
nesters.
Empty nesters. Then you have the real estate investors, which is in its own animal, whether they're fixing and flipping, like you just mentioned, or are they buying and holding? Are they, doing short-term rentals now? And then, I learned just this year about midterm rentals. I didn't even know that was a thing. I was like, wow, midterm rentals. And then you have relocators, relocating based on upon a job, companies, like Caterpillar or Amazon, moving different corporations. Had a guy on yesterday talking about Goldman Sachs is moving to the Dallas, Fort Worth area. So I mean, that's all these people are going to have to go to Dallas. Especially if you were remote. So there's different types of buyers, and so the focus, it all depends on who are you focused on. There might not be a shortage as you think.
Absolutely. And then also too, buyers, and speaking of the whole Texas relocation company situation, as a realtor, I've had clients that have relocated to Georgia. So I
Mhm.
just recently became, and I'm not sure if I got the chance to share this with you. I recently became
No,
licensed in the state of Georgia.
wow,
So,
so am I.
so you have so many people that are
Yeah.
relocating and going elsewhere. And it's like, okay, I'm handing off people. Let me go ahead and because there's a trust factor. So
Yes.
I'm handing off people, and I'm keeping tabs on how their new transaction is going in this new state and things of that sort. But okay, it's time for me to be more hands on so that I can really be a specialist, and so that I could really counsel and give people good information. So that's a whole nother caveat of just how people moving around constantly, it
Yeah.
changes businesses.
It was really the pandemic that kind of got us going. Obviously with the just the pandemic, and it was kind of moving stifled. Movement was kind of stifled, especially up in the Midwest, especially in the blue state. So I thought it would behoove us to get licensed in Florida, in Georgia, in Texas. Warmer climate areas that don't have necessarily that winter months, kind of syndrome, and
Yeah.
also too that we're a little bit more lenient and flexible just in nature. And so yeah, we've been licensed down in Georgia now for like 4 to 5 years, and it's turned out, it's worked out, and um, different states bring different things as far as topics are concerned. But especially a lot of times, I just had a lady now. You live in Chicago, you want to relocate down to Texas.
Okay.
You don't know any local lenders down in Texas. You don't know anybody from, Adam or Eve. So why don't you work with a local person that you already know that can help you get down there and then get your life going? And that's what we do.
Nice, nice. And you got so many people. It's like the end of the year, they want to change. They're tired
Hmm.
of whatever has been going on. They're in like this season of reflection. And they're like, you know what? This new year, I want to start somewhere new. I want to start in a new situation. And same for buyers and for sellers. And that's
Sure.
another thing with buyers that I tell sellers about. You may have fewer showings and things of that sort, but the people that are coming out, they are serious. They are making strong. It's like it's quality over quantity.
Sure.
So, the people that are out, it's stronger buyers. They have a real reason to be going outside when it's cold, or possibly around the holiday time and stuff like that. So That's
What's
something.
your, L'Oreal, what's your mindset? Are you more of a let me finish strong for 2025, or let me relax, relate, release, and come back at it, 2026? What is kind of your mindset?
So the mindset has shifted over the years. I will be 100% honest. The first couple of years, I was the type of agent that would just be like, after the kids are locked in, because in the summertime, pretty much by the time the kids are in whatever school district or school, it slows down, especially for families with small children and things of that sort. So in the beginning, I was kind of like looking forward to the break. I've learned how to operate my business far more. Just my systems that are in place and just being mindful of the balance where I go all throughout the year.
Hmm.
And I've just built in systems where I get my rest and then there is not burnout or anything like that.
That's great. Yeah, you do have to pivot from the client, right? So you get a lot of families from April through August,
Mm-hmm.
and it is dominated based on school districts and upgrading their houses, because hey, the wife is pregnant again or whatever the case is. But then, come, right now, October, November,
Mm-hmm.
more hey, we're newlyweds just getting married. Hey, or we got little ones that they're not in a school district yet, right? They're 0 through 5 years old, or you're single. You're ready to kind of, hey, I want to get this done because this was my 2025 goal. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
do notice a change in who's the buyer at this moment.
Absolutely. It changes, it varies. You have your people that are, I don't want to say nomadic, people that are career driven.
Hmm.
If they got an opportunity because they have an amazing job in a new city, they're going to move. If the company is paying for the relocation, if the company is compensating the real estate agent, they're going to get it done. So, you also have those that are career driven and have career goals, and they're moving because they want to, advance at the new opportunity that's been presented to them. So buyers definitely, it shifts, it shifts. But also I have a social work background, and with that social work background, if someone comes to me and they tell me the motivation, I'm in regard. Like, okay, we need to get, this is the problem, this is the deadline, this is the angle that we're trying to gear this towards, but solving it, I'm in regardless. So, I mean, life happens all year round, right? Life
Facts.
be life in.
Life be
And
life.
exactly, right? So you just get it done. You get it done with marketing. You get it done by offering like flexible showing options. You get it done by taking advantage of virtual tours or maybe doing FaceTime or something like that. You get it done by being collaborative with other agents.
Hmm.
Sometimes the competition amongst agents is just too much, but you meet people where they are. If they have buyers, then you make it work.
Awesome. L'Oreal, can you give your contact information?
Absolutely. So I can be reached at l'orealflowersrealty.com. I can also be reached on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So let me go down the list. So Instagram is Chicago Realtor underscore. Facebook is just L'Oreal Flowers, Exit Strategy Realty. And then YouTube, I believe it's L'Oreal Flowers Chicago Realty as well.
Awesome. We're going to take care of some housekeeping notes real fast, and then we'll get right back to the conversation. This
Okay.
episode today is sponsored by Epic Mortgage. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or investing, call Epic today. That's 708-905-5300. That's 708-905-5300. It's your dreams, your goals. Let's plan together. Now, if you need a step-by-step playbook for turning your mortgage into a wealth building machine, that book right over there, right behind my shoulder, is the Ultimate Mortgage Guide. It's available on Amazon. Check it out. It's a great opportunity to give you a blueprint of how mortgages can impact and affect your life positively. After the show, if you're on LinkedIn or if you're on Facebook, I need you to go to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, stay on there. Make sure you give us a like if you like this information and you like the conversation that's going on. But after the show, make sure you check out my most recent Epic Spotlight podcast interview with Sean D. Nelson. Sean Nelson is a visionary founder and CEO of the 𝐒𝐿𝐓. Discover how Sean went from making giant beanbags in his parents' basement to leading a billion-dollar public company. In this episode, Sean shares hard-earned lessons from his 25-year journey, the secrets behind 𝐒𝐿𝐓's innovative design for life philosophy, and practical insights for entrepreneurs and business owners. Whether you're starting a business or scaling for growth, get inspired by stories of resilience, creativity, and relentless ambition that you will see by listening to Sean D. Nelson. So I had a great conversation with Sean. And we do have some preferred listings. So we have 6945 South Dorchester Avenue, Unit 2S, Chicago, Illinois. It's going for $149. Contact Evelyn Wood, 773-718-9742. We have 12673 Sin Bay Court in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a single family house going for it's a 4-bed, 3-bath going for $375. Contact Charday Nix, 904-520-8041. We have 16029 Circle Drive in Markham, Illinois. This is a great for an investment property. It's a single family, 3-bed, 1-bath going for $105,000. Contact Keith Terry, 773-655-1360. We have 412 North Ridgeland Avenue. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath, single family, going for $410,000. Contact Laretha Lowry, 708-670-8165. And then, of course, we have 2 listings from the person right there, Loreal Flowers. We have 6200 South Marsh Lane. It's Matson, Illinois. Single family, 4-bed, 2.5-bath. It's going for $270, correct?
That is true.
$270. So definitely want to contact Loreal Flowers, 312-774-4230. And then we have 6832 South Bishop Street. It's a 2-flat, 6-bed overall, 3-bath overall, going for $240, right?
That is true.
So contact Loreal Flowers, 312-774-4230. If you need to see pictures, go to my website, DanteRoyster.com. DanteRoyster.com has all the featured properties that we have, and they're available. So let's get them pre-approved and ready to go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We were able, appreciate everyone listening. We got a couple questions here. So if you have more questions, please just put them in the comment section. We'll try to get to you today. So let's go after it. Don asks, how do you decide which listings perform best in winter?
I guess that's not a thought of mine, because regardless of what the listing is, I'm going to put all my marketing efforts behind it. I have the same checklist for every single property, and all of my, as realtors, we have a fiduciary duty to not neglect or, basically do no harm to our sellers. So which one performs best or which one isn't, my efforts remain the same across the board. I'm throwing everything at it to get it the most exposure.
Now, when you said earlier in the show, you were talking about how you'll do the interview process with the potential customer that wants to list their house, and while they're interviewing you, you're kind of interviewing them. If they're unrealistic, that might be a turnoff for you. Is there a particular, I guess maybe to his point, is there a certain type of listing that you might say, hey, let's pause until the spring, or is it all systems go if they're ready to go?
Okay, absolutely. So I have turned down listings before in the past, and that's because I felt like the numbers just were not supporting it, combined with the improvements to the house. So it's a difference if the numbers are not supporting it, but someone has done some amazing remodeling that the market just doesn't know about, right? But there's a thing of a property being stigmatized. And instead of just taking the listing, and pretty much what some agents will do is walk a seller down, take the listing, know that it's overpriced, and then every 2 weeks they're doing price reduction to get the property to where it needs to be price-wise. That's not something that I care to do. It's time, it's effort. Like, I literally do weekend check-ins with my sellers. Weekend check-ins, hey, not weekly. We had this many showings, we had this many inquiries, so because to go into something to know I'm getting ready to be giving someone bad news every single week because the root issue is that we were overpriced to begin with, just not looking forward to it. And again, a property can become stigmatized the longer it's sitting on the market. People want to know, why hasn't anyone bought it yet? Why has it been out here so long? So there have been situations where I have, in the midst of that seller's consultation, I've chosen to just not take the listing because we just were not in alignment. And sometimes you do have to do that, but
Gotcha.
it is what it is.
All right, we got another one here. What's the biggest myth about selling homes during the holidays?
People are always concerned about, and I shouldn't even be saying this with a smile because technically people do be out here trying to scam. People are always concerned about, valuables and presents and things of that sort. And, it's a difference normally throughout the year when, you may just be moving a few valuable items and you may only be doing it once. But when it's the holidays and maybe you have bought an abundance of things and stuff like that, there's always that concern about different valuables and presents and things of that sort. Some people feel like homes just don't sell at all during the winter time. So, and that's where, like I said, that buyer's consultation, interview, it's an exchange of information. It's an exchange of how I run my business. It's an exchange of what you can expect from me, of the paperwork, the process prior to being under contract versus the process after we're under contract. So, yeah, I would say that's pretty much the list. A lot of people feel like they may have to sell at a discount, or they're concerned about someone coming in doing something nefarious, which can happen at any time.
Sure.
And then, of course, that's the reason why you vet and make sure that people are pre-approved and that they're working with a licensed realtor or real estate agent.
Got it. Next question is, does creativity really make that big of a difference in Q4?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and this is random, but I dressed up as Mystique for Halloween.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay.
And my listing, 6200 Marsh, wanted to do something to spice it up. And I had a whole little script of a video that I was about to do, playing on trick or treat and things of that sort. And I wanted to do the video in my Halloween costume. My seller was like, please, no, it's not that serious.
Man, that would have been amazing to see. You had blue skin and all?
So it was like a jump. It was like I don't want to say a jump. It was like a onesie, like fitted onesie thingy, but the blue was from the neck and above. Yeah, I was ready to do it. I was thinking outside of the box. I was aware of, the time of the year that it was. And I just was excited. I mean, it was fun. Everything's about media. I knew it would have brought a lot of attention to the property.
Whatever it takes. You ain't kidding.
It's fun, whatever. So creativity, I feel like in the real estate industry, you want to enjoy the business that you're doing. That would have been an amazing story to tell for my
Yeah.
future listings.
Yeah.
But my son was like, no, you don't need to do all of that. I was ready though. I was ready.
Man.
I had my little trick or treat, like, hey.
Man. I'm looking for Wolverine. I'm looking for Wolverine who wants this house. Come get me. I got you.
And this home is a treat. Don't get tricked by none of the other properties that's in the area.
That
I
would have been
have my
great.
script, but yeah, creativity with marketing, it always lightens things. It's fun. Why not?
Yeah. That's cool. What's one strategy you've never skipped in the slower months?
Open houses. Open
Oh, okay.
houses. I
Still a
am.
believer.
I am. I am. I started out doing open houses for other agents and shadowing them in the business. The opportunity to send out postcards announcing the open house. Depending on the weather, I do go out. I'll door knock within the area and things of that sort. Open houses, absolutely open houses.
And what do you see in open houses? I mean, obviously, they always talk about the nosy neighbors are the only ones that show up, but you're obviously saying that's not always true.
You have neighbors that are nosy, but then also too, especially within the south suburbs, we have there's the community is a little bit older, so you have parents that are looking out for the grandkids and trying to get the son or the daughter to move into the neighborhood. So sometimes people are actually scouting for family members. I do see a lot of unrepresented buyers that just might not be there just yet. At that time, I just go ahead and educate and anyone, instead of sitting there by myself, if it is that type of situation, because you have the rain and Mother Nature that may put some dampening on your parade. But even still, I have my own sphere of influences where I'm reaching out to my own VIPs. I'm reaching out to past clients. I'm reaching out, letting them know, hey, I'm doing this. Come by. I got pizza. I got whatever the refreshments may be. So even with open houses, I may have my own contacts just from being in the business 10 years that may come by and check out the property and kind of help me get the word out to people that they may know.
And you were talking about booties earlier. So, I mean, you got a whole toolkit every time you do a open house? Like you got booties ready and everything?
Absolutely. I got my signs that I put at the intersections. I got balloons. I got a flag. I have music playing. I have flyers, and you've sent me flyers before with
Sure.
different down payment assistance programs in case someone is on the fence about their current financing. I'm setting the stage, because if someone is coming out, I don't want them to come in, do a quick walkthrough, and they're in and out the property in like under a minute.
Right.
Come, have some lemonade. What did you think? You have any questions? Did you notice the new fixtures? Did you notice blah, blah, blah? And they're probably trying to eat the food, but then every single chew, I'm throwing something. Hey, in the area that they're doing blah, blah, blah. So setting a true experience when people come to an open house, it makes it funner. It makes buyers stay a little bit longer. I come locked and loaded. I also have an unofficial assistant, my goddaughter.
There you go.
That I'm grooming into the business. So no less than 5 signs go out. And I put, depending on where it is in proximity to my home and things of that sort, but no less than 5 signs pointing directions. Hey, open house, open house. Text this number for information. At all major intersections, we getting them out.
Oh, that's awesome. A little mentee as well. That's cool. How do you balance work and holidays during the busy season?
Oh, great question. Great question. Because I believe that burnout is what reflects service. You always want to give good things in, good things out. So in terms of my work schedule, I have set hours that I start my day, set hours that I end my day. And this is something that I tell my sellers when we're doing our seller consultation. So respecting those hours, pretty much after 5 o'clock, unless I have, I'm fudging. I'm sorry. I'll say after 7. After 7, because you have a lot of realtors that are not full-time. I am full-time. That work after they get off work, or they're doing showings after they get off work. So if someone is in one of my listings and they have a question or they can't find something, I'm mindful of the fact that, hey, someone is out in the field right now and they're helping me get my property sold. So I will pick up the phone. But respecting my hours. And then, holidays during business season, that's where you delegate. I'm fortunate enough to be a part of a company that has over 200 and I want to say 50 agents. So I do have other peers within the industry where I can reach out and say, hey, anybody want to do such and such? I'm willing to compensate you for showing. I'm willing to compensate you for stepping in, doing blah, blah, blah. The systems are in place so that the business continues to run.
Right.
These are some amazing questions, by the way. These are some amazing questions. They're really good.
The Epic community is doing their thing. They've been great, since they've been rocking with us since episode 1. So really appreciate everyone listening. We got over 460 people listening. So, they're getting some great information today. How early should agents start planning for the fourth quarter?
Good question. So I do a lot of my planning for the entire year in the fourth quarter.
Mm.
So pretty much by January 1, when most people are doing their vision board parties and creating resolutions and creating, I'm already gone because, I spent the fourth quarter to plan for the next year. So I would say if you can get on that schedule of using the fourth quarter to reflect, a lot of time people are doing tax related bookkeeping and all of that kind of stuff and that that stuff. So if you can actually use the fourth quarter to plan for the upcoming year so that you can really hit the ground running after the new year compared to still being in a planning mode in January, I would say kind of shift your time frame a little bit. That's what works
Yeah.
for me. I'll say that's what works for me.
I mean, you're continuing ed because I just got done with continuing ed. I had to do 10 hours for all
Okay.
the states that I'm licensed in. You're every other year, right? You're not
I
every year?
want to say every other year, but I love a good sale. So I don't really wait until the last minute to do my continuing ed. A lot of times in the fourth quarter
Hmm.
is when they're running specials and stuff like that. So if you can catch one of those bundles, I know getting those different email blasts and stuff like that can become a nuisance. They're always offering realtors some form of training or something to buy, but when you know the deal is really a deal and you can catch a bundle on CE, I'm always that person. So most of the time, by the time it's a rush to get it done, because I believe
Hmm.
the next one that's coming up for me is April of 2026. I might have like one or two classes to do.
Got it. Let's see. Do virtual showings help more in the winter?
If someone is on the fence with, maybe they've rescheduled for this reason, rescheduled for that reason, a virtual showing is better than no showing.
Hmm. There you go.
A virtual a virtual showing is better than meet people where they are. Or sometimes because again, I have my own database of buyers and peers and stuff like that. I may have a video that may not be available to the public that is in my phone that I have sent to people that I know and that I trust within the business. And in trying to, we're only going to have so many scheduling conflicts. Pretty much, it's like, okay, do can your client come this
Right.
time? Can they come to? Can we do this first? Can we do a FaceTime? Like, what's going on? Like, yeah, a virtual showing is better than no showing. Get it done. Advertise whatever you can do to entice them to get in.
Right. Get it done.
Get it
Get it
done.
done. All right. A couple more here. What are some creative marketing ideas for holiday listings?
For holiday listings.
So, I mean, it starts off with is Halloween a holiday? Because, so many people like Halloween. You're dressing up as a Mystique. So, I mean, that might be a little tip right there.
I know whatever your Halloween costume is, go and put it in Chat GBT and figure out a 30-second or 15
There you
second
go.
script or something like that. Um, Also, to something, and this may not necessarily be to get a listing, but I saw so many different realtors on social media that were giving away their business cards with the trick or treat candy.
Mm.
And I try to keep my eyes open on what's going on in the industry. I said, but okay, we doing that now.
Wow. Here you go.
I'm like, okay, we marketing it to the kids.
Man, that's Gen Alpha. And, they're saying, what cheapskate? I wanted candy. I didn't want no
So
business card.
I know I saw that. I know a lot of people, agents that are really into the Brian Buffini that do
Sure.
pop buys and stuff like that.
Yep.
They will do the pumpkin pie or the sweet potato pie
There you go.
and give that out to clients or just their VIPs, their database, their sphere of influence and stuff, and they'll do that as a way to say thank you, but then also as a way to market themselves, and then as a way to get referrals and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So that's something that people are always doing. Typical tactic I've seen a million times over is the pop buys, where you're giving away the apple cider packets and the cinnamon sticks. So
Hmm.
that's always one.
Yeah. No, that's good. I've been subscriber of Brian Buffini since 2012.
That man, he give away some gems. You just have to, if you have the discipline to just do it,
Correct.
just stay on top of mind, and you just have that mind frame of, you eat what you kill. That there is no shame in helping someone get their home sold. There is no shame in doing your job. Someone is trusting you to sell their home quickly at a great price and with the least amount of legal liability as possible. There's no shame in doing that and attempting to do that. So most of the time, people just got to get out of their heads.
All right, we got a couple more. What motivates you most during the cold months?
I just like being successful. I would say I like being successful. I like helping people. I have been a busybody my whole life, so me just sitting around doing nothing, it's not my personality. I need to be doing. I enjoy doing stuff. I enjoy crossing things off of the to-do list. I enjoy my lifestyle. I enjoy helping and being an asset to my community and the communities that I live in. Especially in Chicago, we have so many different areas that don't shine as much as other areas and stuff like that. So if I can be an advocate for someone to purchase in an area that is up and coming and stuff like that, I'm gonna do it.
That's awesome. All right, and we got, how can new agents take advantage of the quiet season?
That's a really good question. I would say planning.
Mhm.
I would say cleaning up your CRM. I would say reflecting on all of the activities that you have done throughout the year, and then being mindful of which activities were fun, were nice, but they were not, they didn't yield monetary results, or they just were too time consuming, or activities that you have done that maybe you can use some kind of way you can outsource it, or some kind of way where you can automate it. I would say take advantage of the quiet season just to reflect on your business. One thing about real estate, I want to say they say the stat is like 70% of people quit within like the first 3 years or something like that. It's a the turnover rate is really, really high. So you definitely want to use the quiet season to clean up shop. If you're working with partners, whether it's inspectors, lenders, insurance people, whomever it is you're doing your business with, if you're noticing that they're not responding, or the business relationship just isn't a reciprocal one, you may want to reevaluate some of those relationships. Who's sending you leads? I've mentioned having VIPs a few times within this streaming session, and that's because there have been some people that have been die hard for Loreal Flowers Realty that when I was in the beginning, right, in my Chevy Malibu trying to sell some real estate, they were rooting for me, and they were routing and they just pretty much had my back. So acknowledging those individuals, touching bases with your contacts. Everything does not have to be an email or a text message, picking up the phone and just saying, hello, I appreciate you. But I would say use the quiet season to review the business. Think about what's working, what's not working, and to set up the business plan. I do a business plan every single year.
That's awesome.
I do a business plan every single year. And if anything, the business plan continues to evolve. So it went from just a business plan to a business plan and a marketing plan. Also 2 different vendors that you may use. I do refrigerator magnets. Is the price still feasible for me to be able to do refrigerator magnets? I have promo materials from when I go to coffee shops, and I will sit up at a coffee shop with my business cards or whatever information I may be giving out or what's going on in the community. But, my promo material, I may have to switch that vendor. That a lot of times too, I do a lot of buying for my business towards the end of the year, because we're coming, close up on tax season. So I'll buy so that it doesn't hang out on the credit
Correct.
card too long
Right.
before I can go ahead and recoup those funds. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
I think you did. All right, last question here. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone's questions. What's your top advice for agents who want to finish the year strong?
Oh, get that daily prospecting in.
Yeah.
Daily prospecting. Daily prospecting,
Yeah.
and respect your prospecting hour, and yeah, prospect.
Awesome. No, L'Oreal, that was awesome. You battled the gauntlet of the epic community, asking you all those questions. I appreciate you answering it for them. Hopefully, they got what they needed. But let's get your contact information one last time.
One last time, L'Oreal Flowers, Realty.com, 312-774-4230. L'Oreal Flowers, Exit Strategy Realty on Facebook, Chicago Realtor _ on Instagram, and then I also have a YouTube channel as well.
Awesome. So, what's the name of it?
Thank you. Just my name is Chicago Realtor. I try
Okay.
to keep it consistent between the first name and the whole beauty line, and then the last name, Flowers. I always have to find me. I have to put in the Chicago Realtor, otherwise I get lost in the algorithm.
Oh man, L'Oreal, is that really from the beauty supply line?
It
Okay.
is.
There you go. There you go. They
Thank you
put a lot of
so
pressure on you.
much.
No, no problem. No, this was great. No, it's great information. And when I know people like yourself, I want to get you out here. I want people to know what you know. I appreciate you even coming on the show. I'd love to have you come back again.
Definitely.
Maybe in January we can hear about all the success that you're having.
I'm down. I'm down. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow with Jess Ford with me. I think Vincent Bertuccini is going to be back with me. So appreciate everybody. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Take care.